Osceola County's scheduled board meeting for Tuesday, September 9th, 2025. Thank you so much for being with us here tonight. Our invocation will be delivered by Father Michael D. Batista from St. Thomas Aquinas Catholic Church. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Monique Machado, our Assistant Superintendent for Elementary Curriculum and Instruction. The national anthem will be performed by Renaya Sanchez, a sophomore from the Osceola County School for the Arts. Our mission statement will be read by James C. Long, principal of Gateway High School, and our interpretation services will be provided by Naira Elvira, bilingual community liaison and Spanish interpreter. If you now please stand with us.
Let us pray. Father, we thank you for the gift of education and for the opportunity to serve the children and families of this community. Tonight, we especially pray for the members of the school board. You have entrusted them with the great responsibility of guiding our schools, and we ask you to bless their work. Grant them wisdom to make decisions with clarity, patience to listen with open hearts, and courage to always do what is right. May their service be marked by respect, collaboration, and dedication to the good of every student. We pray for our students, the heart of our mission. May every choice made here open doors for them to grow in knowledge, virtue, and confidence. Above all, may our children become the persons you created them to be, young men and women of integrity, hope, and compassion, who will bless the world with their gifts. Bless our teachers, staff, and families, whose daily sacrifices and support shape the path of learning. Strengthen us all in our common goal to build a safe, inspiring, and thriving schools where every child can flourish. We ask this in your holy name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
The mission of the School District of Osceola County is inspiring all learners to reach their highest potential as responsible, productive citizens.
Good evening. I am Naira Alvira and I'm here to provide interpretation services. Buenas noches. Mi nombre es Naira Alvira y estoy aquí para proveer servicio de interpretación.
Next up is positive comment. Dr. Shanoff, I'll start with you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have several folks that I want to take a moment to recognize. The first three from Zenith, got a chance to visit and see these folks in action. Mr. Searcy in the Impact Lab doing great work for students in credit recovery. Ms. Matthews in science, infusing those AVID strategies. And then Ms. Abel, Trish Abel in the Paxton Patterson Lab doing phenomenal work. Probably one of the best classroom spaces in our district. It's huge. Great view of the parking lot, but it's a phenomenal classroom where the students do get that exposure to the various career pathways. I want to thank the team at Narcoossee Elementary School, especially the third grade team, for welcoming me. They were fantastic, very honest and open with their feedback, and so just grateful for the work that they do. And then Parkway Middle School, Richard Massanet in the Access Supported Classroom. When you walk into that classroom, he'll tell you that there are three things that need to happen in order for learning to occur. Safe environment, happy to work. Then students will be happy to learn. And he said that that's what he brings to his classroom every day, because he knows that however he is, his students will gravitate one way or the other. And so that was just really, it was very inspirational. And then today I got a chance to go to Hickory Tree, and I was there with Miss Anspaugh's fifth grade class. It was a great experience, got a chance to read to them, tell them a little bit about my job. They had some fantastic questions. I have no doubt that there are people on this dais that will be invited. The questions were great, but they're fierce, I have to say. The questions will be some of the toughest questions you encounter. So good luck with that. But they were fantastic. So thank you very much for allowing me to recognize those great individuals and the continued great work that we've got going across this district.
Ms. Garcia?
I want to mention that we're starting the pre-planning for the Puerto Rican Parade next year. And this week we were able to meet with Ralph Morales. And I know this time you're going to wear a pava. I know for sure. We're going to have a special hat for him for next year. And grateful to the staff and everyone participating next year. We're thinking of a few schools, so we are reviewing that and see which schools and dance group can join us next year. Congratulations also Osceola County Chairwoman Viviana Janer. She announced the first of its kind tech library in the heart of Osceola. That was last Wednesday, and we were at the corner of Bill Beck Boulevard and Fortune Road, that's very close, and for the groundbreaking of this latest innovation for Osceola. It's the first ever tech library. Have you heard about that? Yes, super cool. So congratulations to the staff and Osceola County, Don Fisher, Beth Knight, Donna, and all the staff there. And a heartfelt thank you to our incredible maintenance team for the wonderful work they do every day. We were able to spend some time with them last week, and it's wonderful just to see that they get to enjoy a day of good food and just share with their friends. Also, I just want to remind everyone about the free and reduced lunch. You have to apply before September 22nd. It's just a list of schools that you have to apply. The rest, you already qualify by the community eligibility provision. So there's no application needed, but for certain schools, just go to our website and you'll see the names of the schools that you need to apply. As an example, Canoe Creek, Celebration, Harmony, and so on. Narcoossee, just check the list and you'll be able to find that. And this is College Week, began this week. Today was Enlistment Tuesday, and tomorrow is What To Be Wednesday. So your students can join the high school and the teachers and wear in different outfits. I know some of our staff were trying to mimic that, and I forgot mine, but it's okay. But this week is all college week, and I'm missing my college week, Anthony. I call him Antonio, but we miss you today, but then that's it.
Very good. Ms. Castillo?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I'll start with echoing my colleague's sentiments regarding the maintenance team. We were able to attend together. We were invited to their end of summer barbecue event. Just really thank you so much for inviting us. We always try to make it, even if we can't, we always send our best regards, but it was just fun, light. I did not get to have any of the delicious food, but I'm sure it was delicious. So thank you once again for inviting us, and thank you for all the hard work that you do. So yesterday, I got to hang out with some students at Island Village Elementary, and they were teaching me all of their STEM stuff that they've done. Like, I built this solar power little car. I'm like, where is it? They didn't have it, but it's okay. They told me about it. I was like, that's amazing. So I got to spend some time with some really interesting and smart kiddos over there. So thank you for letting me hang out. And thank you to our community relations team for helping me film my State of Education address. So you guys always make sure that we look good on camera. So thank you so much for that. And a couple of weeks ago, I attended the Seussical, the musical event at Toho. It was, you were there. It was incredible. It was probably the best one that I've attended. Not that the other ones were not great, they were, but this was like, elevate, okay. Are we in Broadway over here? That's how I felt. So congratulations to all the kiddos that were in that event. Congratulations to Toho, and thank you for being the one to host this year. To our team of arts teachers and administrators for always putting a great show and inviting us to make sure that we can see that. Thank you so much. And that is all I have today. Thank you.
Ms. Bronson?
Yes, I had the opportunity to sit down with Sheriff Blackman to discuss concerns for our families in District 5, especially around our young drivers going to high school, changing traffic patterns, increased car rider traffic to and from school, speeding dump trucks, speeding near bus stops, and then the use of the traffic cameras. And Sheriff Blackman immediately responded by increasing patrols in those key areas, and he already has begun implementing a lot of positive changes within the Sheriff's Department. Some of the main areas that we discussed included Holapaw on 441. There's ongoing speeding concerns there with the bus stop. Kenansville and Canoe Creek Road, just the growing traffic and the developmental impact that we're now seeing. 192 Narcoossee Road and Boggy Creek, congestion and safety issues. And then I just want Sheriff Blackman to know that I appreciate his responsiveness and his commitment to keeping our community safe. I also had the opportunity to go out to visit Honey's Mini Therapy Adventures in Webster, Florida, and it was an unforgettable experience. During this visit, I met Honey and her amazing team, which is 15 other miniature therapy horses, and each mini horse is specially trained to bring joy, comfort, and healing to people of all ages. I had the opportunity to tour the beautiful farm, walked the obstacle course, their training course that they have. I learned how these sweet little ponies are transported safely and how they also serve the community. Honey's mini therapy horses, they travel far and wide. They visit hospitals, nursing homes, public schools, and any place where there's a need for emotional support and healing. And their work touches a lot of lives and spreads smiles wherever they go. I want to especially thank District 5 Osceola County Commissioner Ricky Booth. He awarded a grant to Honey's Mini Therapy Horses, and with this grant, they will be coming to 6 schools in District 5 for a day visit starting in October. And because of this support, it's helping to teach more students and share this transformative experience with the next generation. Each school visit will teach our students the vital work of therapy horses in the community, the importance of volunteerism and giving back, and how animals can help humans heal emotionally, mentally, and even physically. And these visits are going to offer a unique combination of therapeutic benefits and educational enrichment for both the students and the staff. from calming anxious hearts, which is usually mine, to sparking important conversations about empathy and service. And these mini therapy horses will have a lasting impact. And they also wear little glitter boots, which is just so cute. I'm excited to see them come. And last Tuesday at 5:45 in the morning, I showed up and volunteered to be a bus attendant at our dedicated Transportation East team. And this hands-on experience gave me a firsthand look at what the daily challenges are for our incredible bus drivers and what they're facing. I got to ride alongside Justin. He was a substitute bus driver, and he is a full-time Delta flight attendant. And Justin comes from a family of bus drivers from LaBelle, Florida, and even when he was in college, he was a bus driver. And he shared with me valuable insights, he showed me how they were adding extra routes, logging in to the system, internet issues, lagging connections, using the starfish harness for ESE students, traffic concerns, and just how that we're following proper bus safety protocols. I traveled on a route that included Neo City Academy, Zenith, as well as Narcoossee Elementary and Voyager K-8. The students were kind, respectful, and they even invited me back. The highlight of my day was I knew all the ESE families and the students that were headed to Narcoossee Elementary, and they were surprised to see me when they got on the school bus. They're like, Mrs. Bronson, what are you doing here? As a gentle reminder, I just want to say, please be patient with our bus drivers, our attendants, and especially our sweet students. Mornings and afternoons I know are hectic, and every bus driver is doing their absolute best with the challenges that they have. Safety is our top priority, so sometimes it's just the proper seating and the boarding protocols, and this makes all the difference, just the patience, and to continue to show appreciation for our transportation staff, because they're carrying our most important resource. And these children, we just want to ensure that they arrive safely every day, rain or shine. And I do have one more thing. I am going to recognize, as a school board, we are incredibly proud to celebrate the outstanding achievements of 5 talented Osceola County school students who live also in District 5. And I am so proud of them because they represented the USA on the world stage in Italy. Riley Caballeros from Toho High School, Aaliyah Patterson from St. Cloud Middle, Valentina Rivera Maldonado from Narcoossee Middle, Naglieli Rodriguez from Toho High, and Victoria Rodriguez from Narcoossee Elementary traveled all the way to Italy this August to compete in the IBTF Majorette World Competition as part of Team USA, which is the Olympics of the Majorette world. These amazing young ladies not only qualified to represent our country, but also worked tirelessly to fundraise and support their dream of competing internationally. While in Italy, they had an unforgettable opportunity to tour the country and make it a truly life-changing experience. Their incredible performances earned them a silver medal in the Junior Parade Accessories Corps, bronze in the Youth Exhibition Corps, silver in the Senior Show Twirl Accessory Corps, and they placed an impressive 5th in the Youth Corps with accessories. And we are just beyond proud of their work, their determination, and the way they represented Osceola County and the United States with excellence, pride, and grace. And I want to say congratulations to these remarkable students. And if they will come on up so we can get a photo.
You look good, too.
Yes, cute.
All
I love
decked
it.
out in
Are they
their
gonna do a little twirly thing?
baton twirling. Are they gonna twirl? I did baton twirling when I was this little. Team USA. I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's neat. That's so fun.
Tonight for my positive. Tonight, for my positive comment, I'm also going to recognize some students. 2 weeks ago, I believe, we hosted the superintendent and a school board member and one of their assistant superintendents from Lee County Schools at Neo City Academy. They've been interested for quite a while to see exactly what Neo City Academy is all about. They've heard about it at our Florida School Boards Association conference. We had a student on a panel there last year, and they just know that, you know, it's the talk of the town in Osceola and across the state. And we had 4 students lead the tour. The entire tour was led by them, and they were so impressive. They knew their school inside and out. They were able to share all about the pathways that are there, the matriculation that they do and celebrate there, and just everything about the school. So I was just wanting to recognize them and thank them for taking time out of their day to host those 2. I know that they were extremely excited to be there and happy to see the school, and I think they're going to try to mimic some of that back in Lee County. So it's really, you know, exciting to have other districts coming to Osceola to see what we're doing here, and so I just wanted to thank them. So if they want to come up and get recognized as well. It's Andrew Phillip, Paula Dominguez, Marla Aubrey, and Braden Winter. With that, we are on to our fine arts moment. We are going to have a performance by St. Cloud Middle School Band performing in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. This is Teresa. following that amazing performance, we have the proclamation for Hispanic Heritage Month read by Marcela Hernandez Flores, a student from Celebration High School, and Janice Robles Cogley, a student from Tohopalaga High.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much to St. Cloud Middle School. They did such a great job. I'm thinking I definitely could not play my clarinet at that age that way. So great job. So yes, we have two wonderful students today from Celebration High School and Toho High School reading our proclamation. Janelis is going to be reading it in English and Marcela in Spanish. Ladies.
Good afternoon. My name is Marcela Hernandez. I am the president of Latinos in Action in Celebration High School, and I will be reading la proclamación del Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre del 2025. Considerando que la comunidad hispanoamericana tiene una larga e importante historia de compromiso en Florida y en los valores fundamentales de nuestra nación, y considerando que las numerosas contribuciones de los hispanoamericanos han ayudado a moldear nuestra comunidad a través de su herencia cultural y lingüística, y han tenido un impacto positivo en nuestra nación, y considerando que aplaudimos los logros de los hispanoamericanos que han enriquecido nuestra comunidad intelectual y artística, y considerando que el 63% de la población estudiantil de nuestro distrito son descendientes hispanoamericanos, y considerando que celebrar el Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre del 2025 nos permite validar y apreciar nuestros estudiantes, padres, maestros, personal y comunidad. Y ahora, por lo tanto, la Junta Escolar del Condado Osceola, Florida, por la presente proclama del 15 de septiembre al 15 de octubre del 2025 como el Mes Nacional de la Herencia Hispana, y alienta a todos los ciudadanos a reconocer el importante papel de los hispanos en la creación y construcción de esta gran nación. Gracias.
Good evening. My name is Janelis Robles Cogle. I am from Tohopalagas Latinos in Action, and I'm their secretary. Today I will be reading the proclamation for National Hispanic Heritage Month, starting from September 15 all the way to October 15, 2025. Whereas the Hispanic American community have a long and important history of commitment in Florida and in our nation's core values. And whereas the numerous contributions of Hispanic Americans have shaped our community through their culture and linguistic heritage and positively impacted our nation. Whereas we applaud the accomplishments of Hispanic Americans who have enriched our intellectual and artistic community. And whereas our district student population includes 63% who are of Hispanic descent. And whereas celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month from September 15 to October 15 allows us to validate and appreciate our students, parents, teachers, staff, and community. Now, therefore, the School Board of Osceola County, Florida, does hereby proclaim September 15 through October 15, 2025, as National Hispanic Heritage Month, and encourages all citizens to recognize the important role of Hispanics in creating and building this great nation. Thank you.
Así sea, so moved.
I have a motion by Ms. Castillo, a second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you so much. I would like to just very quickly thank Ms. Stephanie Abed Montanes, who is our teacher at Toho High School for Latinos in Action, and Ms. Luisa Barrios Cremosi from Celebration High School. They're wonderful, and they do an amazing job with their programs at their school. Thank you.
Next up, we have some special guests for the proclamation of The legacy of Kissimmee High School's graduating class of 1966 will be presented by Nina Hill, the president of the NAACP, and she's joined by a few other colleagues. Welcome to the podium.
Good evening. While I'm awaiting for Ms. McMillan, who is an icon in our community, former educator and principal for Osceola County Schools, and Mr. Robert Brown is one of the students that I will be reading this proclamation in regards to. So tonight, this proclamation reads, to the Osceola County School District recognizing the graduating class of 1966 Kissimmee High School. Whereas the Kissimmee High School class of 1966 holds a significant place in the history of Osceola County, having completed their education during a pivotal period of change in our nation's schools and communities. And whereas this class graduated at the height of the civil rights movement, when the process of school integration was reshaping not only classrooms, but also the culture and social fabric of our community. During this time, students were given the opportunity to volunteer to attend the all-white Osceola High School. Only one student stepped forward, Charles Martin, whose courage and example reflected the challenges and determination of the era. And whereas the graduating class of 1966 demonstrated resilience, unity, and courage during turbulent times of transition, standing as examples of perseverance in the face of challenges and uncertainty. And whereas the members of the class paved the way for future generations of students to thrive in the schools where diversity, equality, and opportunity would be upheld as cornerstones of education. And whereas their journey reminds us that education is not only about knowledge, but also about shaping character, fostering understanding, and creating bridges across differences. Now, therefore, the Osceola County School District honors the legacy of the Kissimmee High School class of 1966 for their historic role during times of change, for leaving a lasting mark on our community and our schools. Presented this 9th day of September 2025, we ask that you vote and proclaim this as so.
So moved.
So a motion by Ms. Castillo, second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations to the
Thank
class.
you.
And finally, we have one more proclamation, the proclamation for Constitution Day and Celebrate Freedom Week. It will be read by Corey Pupa, the Curriculum Instruction Social Studies Specialist in the district.
Good evening. I'll be reading our proclamation for Constitution Day, September 17th, 2025, and Celebrate Freedom Week, September 15th through 19th, 2025. Whereas the framers of the Constitution understood the extraordinary promise of a constitutional republic, a nation that could be made a more perfect union by each passing generation to come, and whereas it is the privilege and duty of the American people to commemorate the anniversary of the Constitution of the United States of America with appropriate ceremonies and activities, and whereas we celebrate our Constitution and the rights of citizenship that together we enjoy as the people of the United States of America, and whereas Title 36 Public Law 106 and 108 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th as Constitution Day to display the United States flag on all government buildings on Constitution Day, Citizenship Day, and Constitution Week, inviting all people of the United States to observe Constitution Day, Citizenship Day, and Constitution Week in schools and churches with appropriate ceremonies. Now, therefore, the School Board of Osceola County does hereby proclaim September 17, 2025 as Constitution Day and September 15th through 19th as Celebrate Freedom Week, and urge all citizens to read, study, and teach the Constitution, to know when to assert and defend the Constitution. All citizens should embrace the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves, and establish a sense of duty to protect the United States of America. Proclaim September 9th, 2025.
I have a motion by Ms. Garcia,
Second.
second by Ms. Castillo. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Next up, we have our appointments. Dr. Shanoff, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's my pleasure. We have one introduction tonight for your approval. Tyler Harris to be the new assistant principal at Gateway High School. Tyler Harris has held the following positions: teacher, behavior interventionist, athletic director, and dean of students for Polk County Public Schools, and dean of students at Harmony High School. He received a bachelor's degree in sports management from Guilford College and a master's degree in educational leadership from Grand Canyon University.
So moved. Sorry.
Motion by Ms. Castillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations. Woo-hoo!
Well, thank you, everybody. It is an absolute honor to stand here today as the new assistant principal of Gateway High School. I am humbled by the opportunity to represent myself, my family, and the incredible leaders who have shaped me along the way. To our district staff, thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn from such strong leadership. Thank you to our board members that have entrusted me in this position. And thank you, Dr. Shanoff. Your vision for the county has inspired us all, and I am proud to support that to the best of my ability. I would like to thank my family, my fiance Charlene. You've been the catalyst that pushed me to make it this far. To my kids and my family, you inspire me every day, and I hope to continue to make you proud. I also want to thank the leaders at Harmony who guided me. Principal Ramsey, always seeing the potential in me and entrusting me in the short time that I've been with her. My former AP, Julie Rita, for allowing me to spread my wings and show my work ethic and dedication to education. And Harmony family in general, who has believed in me and taught me the value of teamwork. To my new team, Principal Long, Assistant Principals Paulson and Dr. Carpenter, thank you for welcoming me with open arms, and I'm so grateful and so ready to be a Panther.
With that, we are recessing the meeting for our public hearing to adopt our final millage and budget.
Good evening, members of the board. This is the final public hearing on the proposed millage rates and annual budget for fiscal year 25-26. Tonight's public hearing on the final budget will include remarks regarding the proposed millage and budget. There will be an opportunity for public and board member comment. We'll request that you adopt a resolution setting the proposed total millage levy to support the 25-26 annual budget, and that you adopt a resolution approving the 25-26 annual budget as presented. So let's start by explaining what TRIM is. It's the Truth in Millage or TRIM legislation was enacted in 1980, and the requirements are detailed under section 200.065 of Florida statutes. The statute dictates the form, size, and placement of budget advertisements, as well as the order of business during the two public hearings. TRIM requires two public hearings for open discussion of the millage rates and the proposed budgets of all taxing authorities. So what is a mill? A mill is a property tax levy of $1 per every $1,000 of taxable property value. The Florida Education Finance Program, or FEFP, is the mechanism by which state and local funds are allocated to Florida school districts. The Florida legislature sets the required local effort millage and the prior period funding adjustment millage rates that must be levied by the school board. The school board must levy the required local effort millage and prior period funding adjustment millage in order to receive any state funding under the Florida Education Finance Program. The total proposed millage related to school funding for the 25-26 school year is 5.306 mils. This millage will generate revenue for the general operating and capital outlay funds. As previously mentioned, the millage rates are determined by the Florida legislature, and this is the maximum millage that the school board is allowed to levy without a specific voter-approved referendum. The district must levy the required local effort and the prior period funding adjustment to receive approximately $423.6 million in state FEFP funding. In addition, we must levy the full basic discretionary millage to receive $28.6 million in compression funding from the state. The proposed total millage rate related to school funding of 5.306 mils represents a decrease of 0.037 mils when compared to the 24-25 rate. As required by TRIM, we must compare the proposed millage rate to the rollback rate. The rollback rate is the millage rate that would generate the same amount of revenue as last year if applied to the current year's adjusted taxable value. Under TRIM, the rollback rate is the basis for determining if tax rates have increased or decreased. So this slide compares the proposed millage rates to the rollback rates. The current state law required local effort rollback rate is 3.0425 mils. The current proposed RLE millage rate for the 25-26 year is 3.0580 mils. The proposed rate is 0.51% more than the rollback rate. The rollback rate for the total millage is 5.2523 mils. The proposed total millage is 5.3060 mils. The proposed total rate is 1.02% greater than the rollback rate. So based on this information, we advertised a notice of tax increase on Sunday, July 27th, as required. The Osceola County tax levy will increase by $16.8 million for school-related taxes in the 25-26 year as compared to the prior year. While the millage rate decreased, the tax roll is up 6.08% over the prior year, generating the net increase. So how are property taxes calculated? The taxable value of a homeowner's property equals the assessed value as determined by the Osceola County Property Appraiser's Office, less the $25,000 homestead exemption where applicable. The homestead exemption is an amount that is exempt from ad valorem taxes. The amount is established by law for properties used as the owner's primary residence and is normally $25,000. The portion of property tax related to school funding equals the taxable value divided by 1,000 times the school district millage rate. So in this example, a homeowner with an assessed value of $225,000 with the homestead exemption will pay $1,061.20 of school-related ad valorem property tax to Osceola County. So how will this impact taxpayers in our county? This slide illustrates the changes in school-related property taxes for an Osceola County homeowner over the last several years. In this example, a home valued at $200,000 in 2021 would have generated roughly $1,031.98 in school-related property tax. If the owner qualified for Save Our Homes, in 2025, the assessed value of that same home would be $224,883. Based on that valuation, the school-related property tax would be $1,060.56. This is an increase of $26.42 from the 2024 tax year and a 4-year cumulative increase of $28.58. So now we'll change focus from taxes to the budget that you will be adopting tonight. The key items in the budget have been shared with you in previous workshops and presentations. Based on the current FTE projections, FEFP and local tax revenues for the 25-26 budget are $35.3 million greater than the 24-25 year. Funding per student will increase by $151 or 1.77% over the prior year. This next slide shows our long-range forecast for the general fund. As planned, we projected to close the 24-25 school year with a deficit in the general fund, which will decrease our fund balance going into the 25-26 year. As part of a long-term financial strategy, the board strengthened reserves during the years when we received the federal ESSER and ARP dollars. Once those dollars expired, the board has intentionally used the accumulated fund balance to help maintain staffing levels and avoid job losses. We remain committed to closely monitoring our budget to maintain financial stability and ensure continued support for essential programs that benefit our students, staff, and the community, especially as funding challenges arise. So this is the district's total budget in summary form. The general fund is the main fund from which most operating expenditures are paid. In addition, tonight you will approve budgets for the debt service fund, which is used to pay for the outstanding bonds of the district, the capital projects fund, which accounts for major construction and renovation projects, special revenue fund, which consists of food service and federal grants, and the internal service fund, which accounts for the district's health insurance, property casualty, and workers' compensation programs. The total tentative budget is $2,021,532,997. So this slide represents the annual budget at the level of detail that you'll be adopting tonight, which is the same level of detail at which you approve budget amendments throughout the school year. Chair Cahoon, this is the time for any public comment, and after public comment, you can open the floor for board member discussion and comment.
We do have one public comment on the proposed budget. Z. Nelly Hernandez.
Good evening, Zinelli Hernandez, 2929 Moonstone Bend. Let me start by saying I like what I saw in the reserves. That looks nice. I appreciate some of the adjustments that I saw in the numbers. However, I have a question. Under the food item, correct me if this is what you were talking about, the $15,392,000, I was asking the special revenue funds. Is that what you were talking about? The set aside separate than all the other foods? So,
I can't really understand. I don't know if the microphone can come down a little more.
oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just a little mumbly up here.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
So, on the food, item 570, you have a number there of $15,392,271. I think she mentioned that that's like special revenue funds, and my question was, who's funding it? That's one thing. And why is it separated from the rest of the food? And my other comment or my other question is, there is a decrease in transportation, item 7,800. So 55,583.58 down from 980,612. That's in transportation, and that raised a concern for me. It's a huge amount, and seeing that we have transportation issue, middle schools in my community are coming home past 6 o'clock, sometimes 7 o'clock, and they're giving me all kinds of different reasons. So I was just wondering, why was transportation dropped so drastically if we have a transportation issue? And I have some other, but I think she addressed it. Thank you.
Did you want me to address those two items? So food services is funded through the Child Nutrition Cluster Federal Grant Program. So that is a federal grant. That's why that's shown separately. That's required to be tracked in a separate special revenue fund. And then as far as transportation, our transportation dollars come from the state based on our ridership. So that is all strictly based on what we receive through the state FAFP program based on ridership.
Thank you. Do we have any board comment questions? No? Okay.
Okay. All right. Moving on to the resolutions. So we recommend that the board adopt Resolution 26-003, setting the required local effort, prior period funding adjustment, discretionary operating, and capital outlay millage rates for the 25-26 year as follows. Required local effort, 3.048 mils. Prior period funding adjustment, 0.010 mils. Discretionary operating, 0.748 mils. Capital outlay, 1.5 mils, for a total of 5.306 mils. And the total millage rate to be levied does exceed the rollback rate by 1.02%. So this resolution requires a roll call vote.
Teresa Castillo,
Yes.
Besaida Garcia, Heather Cahoon,
Yes.
Paula Bronson.
Yes.
And next, we recommend that the board adopt Resolution 26-004, adopting the tentative budget in the amount of $2,021,532,997. And this resolution also requires a roll call vote.
Teresa Castillo,
Yes.
Besaida Garcia, Heather Cahoon,
Yes.
Paula Bronson.
Yes.
Thank you, board members. This concludes the final public hearing to adopt the 25-26 millage rates and annual budget.
With that, we are on to 5.01, approval of agenda modifications. Dr. Shanoff, any modifications?
No changes, Chair.
Ms. Garcia? Ms. Castillo?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Bronson?
I wanted to pull 1501 for its comment.
Okay. With that, do I have a motion to approve the agenda as modified, pulling 15.01 for comment at that time?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion to approve by Ms. Castillo, a second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. We are on to 14.03.
Motion to approve?
Motion by Ms. Castillo. Second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. Next up is 15.01. Ms. Bronson, you have the floor.
Yes, I just had a few comments. We just completed teacher bargaining, and I'm proud to say that there were 3 small wins, each one rooted in the values that I ran for and that I promised to the voters of District 5. Our educators are always stressing the importance of needing things taking off of their plate. First, I did ask to eliminate the PLCs on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, giving time back to our classroom teachers. Teachers do not need to be micromanaged or split into groups to be watched over and then reported on. We are college-educated professionals with the experience and insight to analyze data, improve student achievements without being handed PLC placemats with QR codes, videos, forms to complete, empty exercises. What we need with these 2 Wednesdays is time to collaborate, to conference with parents, to input the data into Focus and EduClimber for MTSS, to share real strategies that work with each other, and then support our fellow teachers. I believe that this is how we as a district are going to build the necessary trust and autonomy that we need and the respect from our educators. Second, I helped with securing 2 paid half-days for the health center under the Healthy Wellness Plan. This small win started with just the conversation of why teachers are using so many sick days. And I just made it clear that we are caregivers, mothers, spouses, and daughters, and we rarely put ourselves first. We take time off to take care of our families, and the other side of this is to keep insurance costs low. Teachers are required to get 100 wellness points, and this system ironically forces us to take time off to meet this requirement. And in the summer, it's nearly impossible to get an appointment at the SDOC clinic. And I ensured that it was understood that between the commute and scheduling, teachers are using their own sick time to meet wellness requirements, and that's not right. And with this little change, it's a win for teacher wellness and respect, and it acknowledges that educators deserve the time to care for themselves without penalty. And the third was to remove mandatory after-school conferences. Teachers already give up so much of themselves during the day, and this honors their time and their dedication. We cannot continue to ask our educators to do one more thing for free after their contracted time. These after-school requirements caused real disruptions in educators' lives. No one seemed to give a second thought to the teacher who had to rush to get to the babysitter, to pick up a newborn before 4, to bring them back to school so their spouse could pick them up at 6, or that a teacher with 3 children at 3 different schools, each needing attention and dinner, or the teacher caring for the elderly parent needing to relieve the nurse at home at a specific time. Removing mandatory after-school conferences is a win for fairness, for dignity, and for the personal lives of our educators. It's a step toward respecting the boundaries and the responsibilities that teachers carry outside of the classroom. And these things weren't easy. My board fully supported me. I just have to say, they are a delight. They listened to everything I had to say, and with these victories, you know, they're not easy, but I'm standing firm and I'm backing up the statements I say with facts, and I'm never losing sight of why I'm here on the school board. Thank you.
I too would like to make a comment on 15.01. Kind of echoing some of the things Ms. Bronson said, this executive session that our team had regarding this year's bargaining was probably one of the most robust I've seen since I've been on the board. There was so much discussion and collaboration around what can we do to provide our teachers and our staff members things outside of just a dollar amount, because you know, our budget was flat this year, so we had to become creative and innovative with the things we were doing, and it was very helpful to have Ms. Bronson there, someone who had just come from the classroom and knew exactly what was happening day to day right now. While some of us have been teachers in the classroom, it's been a while since then, so things have changed, so getting that perspective was very appreciative. While I know it's not enough to show how much we truly do value all of our teachers, our staff members, I do feel like we did the best we could with what we have this year. We are committed to continuing to look at other opportunities and other innovative solutions to bring more benefits to the table next year, and I hope that you can truly trust us in us saying that. Finally, I also want to mention that a lot of people have talked in the past about our fund balance and why do we have that, and there's money there that you could be giving us when you are offering us these salary increases, and we have dipped into our fund balance. This year we did in order to give you that 2% and to add the $10 million that we put into healthcare. So it is there. We do have parameters around how much we can dip into it, and I really think it's actually the lowest I've seen it since I've been on the board, and even prior to that when I worked for the district and was part of board meetings then, you know, I've never seen it, I don't think, this low before. So I think that does show that we are trying to ensure that you are getting as much money as you can in your pocket with what we have. I appreciate you, even if you may not believe it or you may not think it, I really do, and I think our team does as well. So while this may not be a huge win, I do think, like Ms. Bronson said, there are some wins this year, and we are committed to bringing bigger wins next year and in the years to come. Any other comments? I thought your public comment was ESE, I'm sorry.
No, I turned in a slip for 2. I turned in to speak on this item as well.
Oh, yes, okay.
Hi, I'm Janet Moody. I'm president of the Osceola County Education Association. I represent the teachers and the ESPs, and I wanted to give you the numbers of what you're voting on tonight so that you can know how the teachers and the ESPs felt about this contract. So we had, of our bargaining unit, we had 55% participation in the vote, and of that 55% with the teachers, we had 76% of vote to approve the contract. With the ESPs, we had 50% participation, and we also approved that contract with 76% of the votes. So I thought that was a great turnout with more than 50% with each unit. The fact that they had 76, 77% in favor of the contract. I do know that the holdouts on the contracts, the vote no's, were in large part due to the insurance increases, and we all understand that. I do think that the district is moving in the correct direction when we, as the union, pressed that we wanted those new clinics open so that we have accessibility to people all over the district without all of the travel time, and you guys committed that those would be open by October of 2026. We're going to hold you to the floor on that, and then we're also going to look for you guys to start making plans to open another clinic out towards West Side and the Celebration area, because those individuals are still disadvantaged at being able to access the health care that way. But just like each of you said, we appreciate that you guys came back with some great things. We know that you also approved other things that we brought to the table. We do recognize that it is a year when the budget's not great, but we're doing the best that we can. We know that when the state and the federal entities are not giving us what we need in order to take care of our employees, we have to get creative to take care of them in other ways. So we appreciate that.
Thank you. With that, do I have a motion to approve 15.01?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Ms. Garcia,
I second.
second by Ms. Bronson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. 15.02,
Motion to approve.
motion by Ms. Castillo,
I second.
second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. 15.03,
Motion to approve.
motion by Ms. Garcia,
I'll second.
second by Ms. Bronson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes. 15.04,
Motion to approve.
motion by Ms. Castillo,
Second.
second by Ms. Garcia. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. With that, we are on to 16.01, our public comment. First up, we have Ravi Khatri. The timer. Can you tell her the timer? The timer.
Good evening, board members and Mr. Superintendent. Ravi Khatri, 51504 Strand Court, St. Cloud, Florida. I'm father of a child who is on a spectrum disorder. And I just wanted to bring the plight of all the ESC families, including my son as well, who has been impacted by the consolidation that was done implemented in this year. So first thing, since the beginning, we were concerned about, including myself, of the plan that was put together in a hasty manner to implement the hub services when we knew that those plans were going to fail. Now, coming back to situation with my son, ever since we started with the hub services, his behaviors are through the roof, unmanageable at all. We were told that there will be a lot of support provided as a result of the consolidation, but we don't see that support. Even today, I was informed that my son's teacher has quit. So there is no teacher right now available to the school where my son goes as of today, because of there was no support provided in the class of 16. We were told there would be a BCBAs on the group, there would be RBTs on the group, but none of this exists today, as a result of consolidation. So consolidation, I understand, was done with the betterment probably behind the scene, but the reality, it seems that it was done just to get creative around the budgeting. There are about 13,000 students on the ESC program. Our spend was close to maybe around 200 to 240 million. So board got creative, took the funds away, and Mr. Shanoff and team delivered about 50% or to 40% back to the budget. So that was behind the scene plan, in my opinion, not the plan to have the better services as a result of consolidation. So my request to the board and to the superintendent is that if Education was the priority, betterment was the priority. It's time that we implement those plans, with all seriousness. We should have all the BCBAs back onto board. Currently, I was informed about 3 BCBAs right now, over 13,000 students. That puts your ratio about 4,000 students for 1 BCBA. That is impossible to manage. Now, we have only 3 instead of 6, right? And no support for the students that are being incorporated into general education, about 70–80% of the population. Let alone my son who is in the contained class. No support, no teacher. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Emily Grintz.
Hi, good evening, all. I'm Emily Grintz. I'm the Instructional Vice President for OCEA, and I'm also going to be speaking about the ESE changes. Dr. Shanoff, with what was said, safety, safety, and joy to work. These are some of the quotes that people have said directly to me from across the district over the past month. So keeping that in mind as how our teachers are really feeling. I don't know how to tell the other kids, I don't know what to tell the other kids when they say, I'm scared he's going to hit me again. I have no idea how to handle these behaviors. It's not like anything I've seen in 20 years. One kid triggers another and another, it's like whack-a-mole. I knew these kids when they were in self-contained units, and their behavior was nothing like this. If it's taking 3 adults to bring them to block class, why do all those adults leave when it's my turn to teach? I've taken over 300 calls at the front desk from teachers asking for help with behaviors. And for a lot of them, I just have to say, sorry, there's no one for me to send you. They're all already dealing with someone. You've created a crisis situation. And whatever the intention was, the reality is it's not healthy right now. It's not healthy for kids, it's not healthy for adults. So OCA had repeatedly called for training and preparation to prevent this kind of reaction, and staff didn't react. So board, I came up with some very specific steps that I would like you to do. Step number 1 is to gather some genuine data. Find out exactly how many staff have quit this year and compare it to this time last year. Find out how many student referrals for behavior we have this year, compare it to last year. Workers' comp and employee injury claims and teacher absences. How do they compare? Second, and most importantly, listen to principals during allocation meetings this week. If they say they need more people, find a way to get them more people. Your principals are your most trusted people. Listen to them when they say what they need. They know what they need. Third, direct your staff to create an immediate and clear plan for actual training. It needs to have de-escalation tactics, documentation requirements, and best practices for classrooms. Fourth, reconvene the district ESE committee. It's been a month. What success metrics are we looking at? What needs should be reviewed? What do we do if children aren't adapting? This committee needs to have these hard conversations and come up with real answers. Fifth, set deadlines and actually follow up. Don't just trust that it's getting done. Go into schools, talk to teachers, not for a PR stunt, but to listen. Show up during lunches, invite teachers to come talk to you, ask to go to the classrooms with the most needs. And that's my last point, lead with empathy. You've created a crisis situation. If we're going for inclusion, be inclusive. Include your teachers in the success plan. Differentiate your approach to staff and provide extra supports for teachers who need it. Take care of us. Thank you.
Sahira Pina Endino.
You're too tall. Good evening, Zaida Peña-Andino, 1254 Hancock Circle, St. Cloud, Florida. I'm talking following Ms. Emily and the ESC concerns that we have in our district. And in my perfect little world, like I have said during bargaining sessions, I would love to stop all instructional and curriculum right now and dedicate the time to make the adjustments that we should have made during pre-planning time, but there was too many meetings that
we couldn't do that. So now we are facing this crisis that has been created for the lack of support that we have had throughout the district. Now, I am not speaking for myself. I am speaking with the voice of some colleagues that they have shared their concerns. One of the persons says, I think the biggest issue is the lack of training and support from district. As someone who responds to many crises throughout the day, I have no idea of the students' needs, disability, or triggers. Teachers are at a loss and call for administration to respond, but sadly, without training, there isn't much we can do either. We can do the best that we can, but teachers need more than the momentary Band-Aid we provide. Another person that sees all the students in the school says no direction or guidance from the district with regard to any training or protocols in place to handle these students, even though those trainings and protocols were promised several times. No safety measures or protocol put in place by district with regards to handling emergencies situations, just like fire drills or lockdowns. What are we going to do when a student refuses to leave the classroom in the middle of a fire drill or go into a safe space? For kinder and first grade, there are many Gen Ed students at this level with potential learning and behavioral issues not yet documented and addressed. It is extremely difficult for staff and students to establish and maintain routines and guidelines when inclusion students are added to the dynamic. Since August 11th, I've been calling for assistance on an average of 1 or 2 times daily in the block class. She's an advocate for education and for all children, but it must be done in a proper setting with everyone's safety in mind. In her observation, no one is benefiting from this. Our Gen Ed population is suffering, which is graceful. What looks good on paper do not always fit the model for the real world. And I want to add one more thing. The issue with the computers in the district is surmountable. We shouldn't be having to call 5 different people in order to solve a simple issue. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Janet Moody.
Good evening again. I want to correct something that I said earlier. Our vote was 87% with both units, not 77. And I gave you the wrong information on that, and I apologize. I was not looking at my paper when I said that number. I do want to talk to you tonight about some of the same things that my colleagues have said. We cannot continue to bury our heads in the sand and pretend like the ESC changes are going to make our district better. Because right now, there is a real crisis, as Emily said. Our teachers are quitting. Our ESP support staff are quitting. People do not come to work in this district to be hurt. They don't want to be hit, slapped, kicked, bit, and that is what's happening on a daily basis. Last week, I had 3 of my bargaining unit individuals in the clinic at the same time because they had all been hurt. I do worry that we are going to see workers' comp claims climb if they have not already. I don't have the data on that, but we can pull that and look at it. I also probably deal with anywhere from 4 to 5 phone calls a day from people, oftentimes in complete tears, and I am trying to convince them not to quit their job because I know that's not what's best for the students in Osceola County, to lose experienced teachers. But that is where we're at right now, is people are literally ready to walk out because they need to protect their own mental health, and it's a real issue. There is a lack of human support to meet the IEP requirements, so many of our ESE students are not having their needs met through what's in the IEPs. In some cases, RCSs have been directed to simply change the IEP to meet the district's need, and that's not legal. We have slow response times with unsafe behaviors or elopers, and that's slow response times, and sometimes there's no response. Not because a school administration doesn't want to respond, it's because they don't have enough staff to respond to all of the needs. We have a loss of learning. I have never heard teachers in this district ever talk about being worried about kids not learning in our district. And right now, we are the 5th week of school, and we already have people that are telling me they're worried about the loss of learning. When we were really close to being an A, right now, the predictions are going to be that teachers don't think that we're going to be there. They don't think we're going to be a C school at this point. So there's real concern, and I'm just asking that our board insist that our district get a better hold of what's going on right now, because we can't bury our heads in the sand and think that our district's going to go to an A with this change.
Thank you. Lori Massey.
Hi, good evening. I'm Lori Massey from 906 Michigan Avenue, St. Cloud. Thank you, Ms. Bronson. I loved everything you said. Let me open with this. I do want to say some thank yous with sincere hearts. I know sometimes you're ready to block all the things we want to say, but really, let me say a sincere thank you that we have at Narcoossee Elementary, Dr. Winston. She is, in the few days that we've been there, she has changed the air of our culture. Her professionalism, her unconditional care to us is evident, and it's making us teachers want to be better for ourselves and for our students. So Dr. Winston is doing a great job, and we're really happy to have her. She's no Mr. Noble, but no, I'm kidding. All right. And also another piece of gratitude I do want to say to the HVAC team led by Moses. I don't know his last name, it's really long. But thank you, Dr. Shanoff and Mr. Noble's building stuff. They came in quickly to my classroom and fixed the air, room 209. They're tired of seeing my number. But they came in and they fixed the air, and I'm no longer sweating while I'm teaching. So I am very appreciative of getting my Kleenexes dancing from the ceiling. And Dr. Shanoff, thank you when you came to visit our classroom in the 3rd grade hallway, and I really do feel like you genuinely took the time to listen. You lent your ears and your eyeglasses, and you really made an impact with us. I do have pictures to prove that. And then also the fact that you stood and talked to our PLC, we changed it so much, PLT, with our staff. Everybody was glad to hear you talk, and I know you were busy, but we all wanted to say thank you for that. All right, one more piece of smile from my face is the comfortability of these shirts. I do appreciate that you would still spend the same money on the fabric, and I'm glad that our union could inspire your color this year. There you go. Okay, so I know you probably thought, okay, this is odd. She's coming up here and do I really only have 45 seconds left? Okay, here we go. I thought you maybe, this is why she come. Well, I did. I wanted to come bring some happiness because I didn't want to talk about how we all still wish we had a full-time tech, how our buildings don't have one-to-one computers, about having enough computers during state testing. And we did get some computers today, Dr. Shanoff. It was one day too late, though, because yesterday we had our math state testing, and it was terribly chaotic. Also, cups, overscheduling us in cups and starting to teach that on day one. Yikes. And the fact that we had 2 Wonders curriculum walkthroughs in the last 21 days of school when we weren't given a paid day to learn that curriculum. Whew, give me a few days to learn the curriculum and teach it before you send a walkthrough. That is crazy. Also, another thing is buses. We still have some buses coming late to our school. My kids, some of them aren't getting here till 8:50. That's a big loss of teaching time with those students. So I don't know what's happening with our buses. And then, of course, just like they were saying, more integration of 504s and IEPs. We're getting our planning times taken away. And I know that's a union contract thing, that we shouldn't have to go to IEP meetings during our contract time. And last but not least, yes, the 2% raise, I know that you have helped with that, but it doesn't go more than about $45 of my paycheck, and then you take the health insurance out, and then that gives me, I don't know, 20 bucks to go to
it.
McDonald's with my kid per paycheck. So thank you for giving the raise. It's more than it was last year, but it is not meeting living standards for me to want to go to work. So
Thank you.
I appreciate your
I
extra
gave you a little
time.
more time than 3 minutes. Please try to be mindful of 3 minutes next time.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
David White.
Good evening. I'm a parent of 4 children in this district, and tonight I just want to make you aware of what families like mine are facing. Let's start with transportation. I know they're doing their very best. My kids spend about an hour each way on a bus because of the hub model with ESC. That doesn't just mean longer rides. For a child of mine with medical needs, it also means a higher risk of medical episodes while stuck in traffic, and much longer wait for me to get to him, much longer time for me to get to him in the event that there's an issue or something goes wrong. And instead of heading towards hospitals that know how to treat him, every morning we're driving him further away. That's not just inconvenient, but it's unsafe. Next, services. My son hasn't received a single physical therapy session this school year, even though it's in his IEP. And here's the part that stings. We were told before the school year started that there was no physical therapist on staff. They would not have one. Yet during an IEP meeting on September 4th, I pointed out, well, you're never going to have one. You don't have a job listing posted for a physical therapist. They posted it later that afternoon. In the meantime, my son is regressing, and regression doesn't wait for a job posting. On nursing, we started back in June to make sure everything was in place for the first day of school. We did our part, the district didn't. Badges still aren't issued, and instead of fixing it, my phone calls and emails asking for help were used to justify a, quote, communication plan that even threatens my ability to drop off medicine, supplies, or lunch for my children. That's not a communication plan, that's a punishment plan. Then there's discipline. All 3 of my other children were written up for uniform violations, but when I asked about it, I was told it never happened. Except the paperwork in my hand says otherwise. If I can't trust what's on paper, how can I trust what's happening in the classroom? That brings me to classroom observations. Your own policy states the principal shall approve all visitors and parents who wish to enter a classroom during instructional time. Shall is not maybe. It's not if we feel like it. It means approve. Other districts, Seminole, Orange, Polk, Brevard, and more, allow parents to observe. How else are we supposed to verify our kids' IEPs are being followed? And while we're going at it, I have been told by 2 school board members that they will not speak to me because of this communication plan, even though that's against the law. Instead of hearing from the superintendent himself, I've heard from district attorneys and outside counsel, further wasting money from the district. I'm not saying any of this to fight you. I'm saying it because parents deserve to be partners, not treated as problems. And families across this district, not just mine, are living these same challenges every single day.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Thank you.
Daryl Greenwood.
You all know I'm not here to be singing a lot of praises. My name is Gerald Greenwood, 2250 Tybee Road, St. Cloud, Florida. And I am a special education advocate that represents, I've been told, the largest number of Osceola students of any advocate that works with the district. And I am so upset with what I have been told that's happening in our classrooms. I work with Orange as well, and I can tell you the magnitude of challenges presented here in Osceola is unmatched by any neighboring district. So it is, and Dr. Shanoff sits there and shakes his head, and I don't appreciate that. Dr. Shanoff's recent proposal has had a negative effect on every person that has now created a hub within their school system or within their school. Every principal, assistant principal, dean, guidance counselor, classroom teacher, private and district BCBAs, RBTs, SNLs, janitorial staff, transportation team, and most important, the students and their families. Before implementation, I personally pleaded with you not to do this year. I told you I felt we needed to delay it for staff training, for onboarding. However, you disagreed with me. I have 2 students at PM Wells. I placed them there. It's my responsibility that they are there. And I supported the creation of the school. I am impressed by the principal there, but the district has failed to fulfill its promise of support. There is not the support there that is necessary. We have no mental health counselors there. There's only one district BCBA. He was injured at the beginning of the school year and was put on light duty. I think he's back, I'm not sure. But with the resignation of the supervisor of behavior and 2 other BCBAs, the district is left with just 2 BCBAs for the entire district, which was an impossible task for the 6 of them to do last year, much less resting with just 2 or possibly 3 of them now. Now, let's look at the behavior hubs. Okay, so the majority of classrooms lack teachers with behavior training and registered behavior technicians, RBTs. Often there is only a teacher, hopefully with ESE certification and a paraprofessional with no specialized training. The limited availability of the district BCBAs further reduces the effectiveness, and additionally, many classrooms are without academically certified teachers, resulting in students spending their days on computers. Most of my kiddos can't do the computer. They need the direct instruction from a human teacher. Overall, no one in the district is receiving adequate staffing and support. My interactions with the district personnel since the school year began reveal widespread dissatisfaction among the staff, and I close with a comment from a teacher that was shared with me today. And she said, "Not sure how much abuse I can take, going to try again today. However, getting hit on a daily basis is taking a toll on me and my health. I feel like crap, I feel devalued, I feel hopeless, I feel extremely exhausted. I feel sick, my stomach is full of knots. I don't know how much more I can take. I'm at the end of my rope and I am physically sick."
Thank you, Ms.
And
Greenwood.
Dr. Shanoff, I did receive the message from you that you no longer wanted to meet with me because I was talking to the
Ms.
media.
Greenwood.
And that just gives me more time to talk to them.
Next up is Nicole Abar.
Good evening, members. My name is Nicole Abar, and I'm the parent of 2 students in the ESE program, one in 10th grade and one in their final year of the transition services. I'm here tonight to express serious concerns about the recent hub placement and changes and how they directly are affecting our children's ability to learn, grow, and feel safe at school. I'll be honest, when I first heard about the hub changes, I was upset. It was sudden, and I had real concerns about what it would mean for children and others. In the end, I chose to make lemonade from lemons, and I had faith in the district that they were maybe making the right move. And so I started to reach out to that new school and began trying to engage. I attended your April 8th board meeting and listened carefully. I heard assurances that IEPs would be honored, staff would be trained, students would be supported in appropriate environments. But what's happening now is far from what was promised. At our current school, there are still core subjects without teachers assigned. More urgently, my child, who has a very carefully developed IEP, is no longer in the environment that is working for him. After significant behavior challenges during the transition to high school, especially with elopement, his previous school had assigned a one-on-one para in November of 2024. It made such a huge difference that by February, the IEP team, including district staff, agreed that he could step down to a 3-to-1 setting. We were very hopeful. 2 days later, after that meeting, rumors of the hub changes began. By April, it was official, And now in the new hub, we're being told that a 3-to-1 setting isn't possible due to staffing and capacity. As a result, we're experiencing daily behavioral incidents and repeated elopement attempts. I met with the school yesterday and asked if a one-on-one could be temporarily reinstated. I was told, you might have the luxury of focusing on just your one child, but we have to consider all children. And while I understand that, as a parent, I also have to be the voice for the child who cannot speak for himself. So I ask, what is the point of an individualized education plan if the individual needs of a student can't be met because the system is overwhelmed? IEPs are legal documents, not wish lists. If schools can't honor them, then the system is broken. I've spoken with multiple teachers and administrators who share similar concerns. They don't feel supported, but most won't speak publicly because they're concerned for their jobs. Board members, please look beyond spreadsheets and the staffing formulas that you set forward and see the children that are behind them. If the number of students in self-contained settings is higher than preferred, shouldn't we ask why? Instead of forcing kids into environments that they aren't ready for, this change is not working for my child, and if there's no path back to our zone school, we may have no choice but to leave Osceola County, and that's something I never imagined I'd say. I also wonder how many other families have already made that decision. Thank you, and I hope that you'll keep the most vulnerable learners at the center of this conversation.
Thank you. Gabrielle Zalazar?
Good evening. We pass our daughter like she used to be in a private school.
Can you move the microphone down?
Yes, can you hear me now? Okay, we pass my daughter for the private school with the hopes that in the public school she can do better and she can learn. But now, listen all these things that's going on. It just bring me a lot of anxiety and then bring me a lot of worries. Like we are waiting, for the IPE on my daughter, and she's in a regular classroom, and she doesn't communicate as well as, like her age. And, in the meantime that she is going to the regular classrooms, it just, like we see that certain things she doesn't understand, she's rolling behind. In the meantime that is collecting data. Like we worry about like if we do the right choice just to pass her from the private school and lose the scholarship to the public school. We have a lot of hopes in the public school, but see what's going on, it just bring me a lot of worry, But I don't know, like, if that will be the right fit. I want that my daughter be successful in her education. I hope that Dr. Mark Shannon, you can do something, for our parents and for our child. I hope that this not be just only a meeting where we come and just express and then go behind, like that you really can do something for our child and for us as a parents. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Precious Sizemore?
How's it going? Can each one of you state your names, please, since I'm not familiar with the board?
Paula Bronson, District 5.
Yes, ma'am.
Terry Castillo, District 1.
Heather Cahoon, District 4.
Betsaida Garcia, District 2.
Mark Shanoff, Superintendent.
Assistant to the school board.
Roger that. So I moved here about 4 weeks ago, relocated from Kentucky. My son goes to Lakeview Elementary, okay? He started school on the 21st, which was a Thursday, attended Friday. Monday, he was sick, okay? So I had to take him to the hospital. He was out for a few days. On Friday, when he returned to school, I was working. I could not get to the school in time to pick him up, and the school sent him walking. My son is 7. He's up here. He hasn't even reached the age of reason yet, okay? Now, I have talked to the assistant principal about this. It's a big issue, okay? The fact that you all would rush out a kid and let them travel 0.6 miles, one without a crosswalk, one without a sidewalk, and to walk through a four-way stop is a problem. You understand? That's irresponsible. I'm wondering if this county knows how to adult at all, right? So, that day, I brought his water in at 0900, that's 9 o'clock in the morning. He did not receive it the entire day. That's unacceptable as well, okay? Now, the real issue that I have is with school transportation. Let me tell you why. Since you all felt the need to send a 7-year-old walking down the street by herself, do y'all understand that this state is top 5 for human trafficking? Do y'all understand that? So do you think it was smart and responsible to send a 7-year-old walking 0.6 miles down the street without his mother's consent, written or verbal authorization? Negative, right? Right. So what I'm asking is for the board and the city to provide adequate means to get home. That means sidewalk, crosswalk, right? Because the bus transportation doesn't supply anybody with a ride to school within 2 miles. So if he's in a 0.6 mile radius, right, don't you think that you all could provide adequate walkways and means for him to get home? However, that's not going to happen with me, okay? I get it. You all want to let your kids run off and walk home and ride bicycles. That's not for me, okay? And it might not be for other parents as well.
Thank you, Ms. Sizemore.
No, I'm not done, ma'am, okay?
Your time is up.
No, we're not. There's other things that need to be addressed here.
Ma'am, if you would email us or give me your phone number.
Why can
we
I
will
not
follow
speak
up
to you
with
right here? What's the issue? I'm confused.
We have 3 minutes for public comment. I've let you go a little past your 3 minutes.
So also, okay, on the school.
Ma'am, you're going to have to stop.
The inside of the school playground is absolutely.
Ma'am, I'm going to recess this meeting if you don't stop. We have other public comments.
Where does the funding go? Where does the funding go?
This meeting is recessed.
It's been a few months since you guys have gotten to hear from me. Brian Bennett, 1125 Albany Avenue. I just wanted to reaffirm a thank you to the district. My son was given exception to the hub school model, and he is at Harmony, which I think is the best place for him. He's got staff there that really care about him, and I think they're trying their best to do a good job for him. So from that aspect, really thank you guys for allowing him to stay at Harmony. That being said, I'm concerned about the support that's given to the schools, specifically curriculum-based, because my son is not in a hub school. They have to wait for someone from the district to drive over curriculum for him because they don't have a license at Harmony to be able to log into the curriculum to be able to support him there on site. And so that leaves time where he is not educated. He does a lot of sleeping at school. Again, I think the school's trying to do everything that they can to support him there, but I wish that we had better support. I am providing my own RBT because the district doesn't have adequate behavioral therapists for the school. We've gone to external speech therapy now because he doesn't get any speech support through the school, and occupational therapy we do externally, all of which pulls him out of the school, and that extended drive time to get him up to Nemours is time where he is losing out on education because the district just cannot provide it. And we're disappointed in that. Again, I think Harmony is the right place for him. I really appreciate Ms. Ramsey and her support staff there for the communication that they give us and the dedication that they have for my son. But I wish we could do better to support the teachers and to train the staff that's there on site. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are
Madam
on
Chair,
to-
may I take a moment?
Sure.
Thank you. I've heard the comments today. I've heard the comments going back to last March. I think we knew that this was going to be a heavy lift all along for a couple of reasons. Number one, we were segregating students in separate classrooms that belonged in regular standards all along. We separated them. I'm not exactly sure what for, but now we're having to play catch up because there was no learning taking place in those classrooms. While it may have appeared as though everything was fine, those students were not receiving an adequate education in our schools. It was not tolerable. It wasn't American. And I wasn't going to allow it. We knew that we had to make a change. And I have to tell you, I have taken a lot of fire for it. I've taken fire as a superintendent. I've taken fire as a father, which I cannot believe. But I'm going to tell you right now, I'm in it to make sure that these students are successful. Our teachers, we hear you. We know you need help. We talk about providing help pretty much 90% of the day related to this. When you're talking about a school district the size of Osceola County, the idea of operationalizing change takes time. We could have rolled out all the training in the world over the summer, not required teachers to take it, because they're not required to take it, and we still would be looking at potential deficits right now in what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to do something different. We're trying to do right by kids, because I'll tell you what, you look at the performance of our students when they were sitting in separate classrooms, you look at the performance of our students when they were sitting in self-contained classrooms at all of our schools, their performance, quite honestly, was not up to par. And I wasn't about to accept it. Never once in any conversation have we had the opportunity to discuss the actual academic performance of students. It's just about you're removing them out of this. Well, guess what? We couldn't fill the classrooms when we were trying to do this at every single school. So what did we try to do? We tried to hub the students that are self-contained in the name of providing at least more support, so then if a teacher happens to be out or a paraprofessional happens to be out for that self-contained room, we have the itinerant support to at least be that face that those students remember. Janet knows I'm committed to working with her. We have our first meeting tomorrow, where I know we're going to go through a whole list of things. As teachers have emailed me, I have responded to every last one of them. As Janet has sent me concerns, I've responded to every last one of them. When parents have reached out to me, I haven't necessarily reached out to every one of them, but members of the staff have. So, we are committed to doing right by our students. It is not about the adults on this dais, and it is not about the adults in this room. It is about our students, and it is about the professionals that are supporting those students every single day. We are not turning back. We are going to make sure that our students are as successful as they possibly can be. And guess what? There's going to be a lot of problem solving that happens along the way. This is going to be a messy lift. It wasn't going to be clean. But I'll tell you what, I believe in the students in our district. I believe in the teachers in our district. I believe in the leaders that are leading our building. So parents, you want to sit down? We can sit down. Teachers, if you want to sit down, we can sit down. I got to tell you, I appreciate my relationship with Janet. Janet and I have some very honest conversation. But at the end of the day, we're going to make sure that our students are successful, and we get there through having teachers that feel successful as well. And we're going to work towards that end. Am I going to be able to snap my fingers and get RBTs and BCBAs everywhere where they're needed? No, because guess what? We can't do that here. Orange County can't do it there, and neither can Polk County. We're doing our best. We are doing our best, and we will continue to do our best, and we will continue to be responsive. You know where to find us. We will be there for our kids. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With that, we are on to 17.01, our discussion of legislative priorities. Dr. Shanoff, this is your item.
Yes, thank you. The Osceola legislative effort, we are a part of that with the City of St. Cloud, City of Kissimmee, and Osceola County. Every year, the Osceola legislative effort brings the legislative priorities to our legislators. To that end, we need to be able to provide our legislators, through the Osceola legislative effort, our asks. So I will be meeting individually with each board member between now and our next board meeting, where I will then, after considering everybody's input, lay out those legislative priorities. We will then adopt those priorities, and then we will present those priorities as a board to the legislative delegation from Osceola County for asks. So I just wanted to let everybody know that start getting the wheels turning around what types of, especially capital projects, you believe we need in this district in order for us to continue to move the needle. So I'll be coming back to you for that. Thank you.
Thank you. 18.01, attorney comments.
I have no comments this evening.
All right, thank you. 19.01, board member committee reports. Do we have any committee reports?
I have one, ma'am.
Okay, Ms. Castillo, you're recognized.
Thank you, board. Last week I attended the School Safety Advisory Committee, and as you know, I am your member in that committee. It was a very extensive presentation, and I'm happy to send it to you. There's tons and tons of information and points that I think are important for you to know and discuss, but I just wanted to give you a couple of highlights of what we learned in that meeting. So first, I'd like to talk a little bit about our discipline trends. So happy to report that there is a 14% drop in weapon-related cases and a 98% drop in fight-related cases compared to this time last year. That's great. And there have been some upticks in some of the behaviors as well. Specifically, want to call out harassment and distribution, not because our students are doing anything different, but because there has been a change in how we are categorizing that. And as a result of that, I did ask some questions, and one of the things that we've decided to do, thank you, Dr. Allen, for supporting this, is to make sure that parents and students actually know what the differences are, because what they were doing last year may not have been an issue. This year it can be. So just to make sure that everyone is on the same page with that, we are going to be doing some additional communication layers to ensure that parents and students understand what the elements of those specific issues would be. So just wanted to give a report on that. We also have seen a decrease in some uses of narcotics based on the AWARE program that we have implemented since 2022. So that's another one that I think we want to go ahead and call out. We also got some updates regarding the inspections and youth and drills that have been happening. So this year we have 94% compliance with the drills. So very good with that, and 100% of our schools have completed the Safe Schools Risk Assessment. Tons and tons of things in that meeting. If y'all ever want to come and just sit in the back to learn more about what are the things that are going on, just wanted to give you some updates, but I'm also happy to send the presentation that we went over so that you guys can dig a little bit deeper and learn more about what is going on with the committee. That's all I have, Madam Chair.
Any other committee reports? No. I do have two committee reports, well, one committee report, and then just an update. It was mentioned during public comment about the ESC committee. That committee is being reconvened. We have each selected representatives. Some of that communication is still being worked on, so we are making sure that those representatives are willing to serve on that committee, and Dr. Clayton will be managing that moving forward. And then last week, or this week, I don't remember, it's all running together, we had our Audit Advisory Board committee meeting, and that was an update on anything that our internal audit did this past year, giving us an update on all of those. And so everything, there were some things that they were able to close out from previous years that they were kind of still doing follow-ups on. And the biggest thing was we determined kind of where we wanted to put our audit dollars this year. And so this year we are going to put them towards our ERP system. So that is something we've been talking about. That's the thing that kind of manages everything as far as within our system for terms and things like that. And so since we are going out for RFP for a new ERP system, the auditors are going to help us make sure that the things that we are doing as we are rolling this out are going to safeguard us and ensure that we are doing it properly. So that is something that we will be doing. They will also have their report for us at a later board meeting, I believe. So that will be coming for the public to see. With that, this meeting is adjourned.